The haters are out in full swing, and they're hinting towards an ominous date for the Crimson Tide. Is Alabama in trouble? Stick around. Let's talk about it. This is Way Offsides. 3, 2, let's go. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever the case may be. Welcome to an extra spicy episode of Way Offsides because I'm irritated. And I know I tell you guys all the time, don't let the trolls get to you, but they've gotten to me. And now they got to hear from me. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to let them know what's up. For those of you who have been following the channel, we're right in the middle of recruiting season. Official visits have taken place over the summer. Alabama is on a roll. They are on a straight heater, baby. It's nasty, the work that this staff is doing in Tuscaloosa. Verbal commitments from 5 different 5-stars over the course of this recruiting cycle so far, with potentially more to come. And with success comes hate. We know this all too well as Alabama fans. Everybody hates Alabama. For 20 years under Nick Saban, as he had a stranglehold on college football, they made excuses for Alabama's success. Well, they're cheating. They're doing this. They're paying players. They're doing this. They're doing that. They changed the rules. They changed the offenses. They changed the defenses. Nick Saban warned them, and still, the GOAT prevailed. That is until NIL came into play. And he said, I've had enough of this. I'm done. I'm not going to play this way. I don't like it. I'm out. Now, it wasn't that he couldn't do it. It's that he wasn't going to do it. Nick Saban is probably one of the foremost and most influential voices in college football in terms of what needs to change and affecting said change, right? But in this sense, him and his wife, Miss Terry, who we all hold dear to our hearts, said enough's enough. When you got third string saying they need this amount of money to stay on the roster, maybe this isn't for us anymore. And he said, I'm hanging it up. Well, then Alabama brings in Kalen DeBoer, fresh off a national championship run. And the word on the street from everybody outside of the Alabama fan base was he can't recruit in the South. Well, he follows that up with a number 3 recruiting class last season, loses the state of Alabama. But now he is on the precipice of building potentially one of the greatest recruiting classes we've ever seen in Alabama. That's including all of Nick Saban's work. Now, he's not doing it alone. He's got Courtney Morgan handling deals behind the scenes. He's got great recruiters on staff. And then Nick Saban is still there and meets with recruits sometimes. He's not the foremost recruiter. All the images we saw are pretty explainable. He was on campus when Sedalia Morgan visited, when Xavier Crowell visited, because the staff was over in Tupelo with their quarterback attending a funeral. So let's just assume that's why Nick Saban was there. I mean, Alabama had 5-stars on campus every other official visit weekend, and I didn't see the pictures from those with Coach Saban. But now those rival fan bases have moved the goalpost yet again, and Alabama must be cheating again. They must be cheating again, because how can they be recruiting so well? How can what we've said, making fun of their new head coach, be wrong without them having to been cheating? Well, it could just be that you don't know what you're talking about. It could be that you're an idiot and you allow emotion to dictate what you say on Twitter, and that you don't understand what happens behind the scenes in college football, and that you like to open your mouth before you think through exactly what you're going to say. You're sensational. And not in a good way. You're undereducated. You are, what's the word here? You are basically throwing whatever you can at the wall and hoping that it sticks because you hate Alabama. So what is this about August 1st? You've all probably seen it on social media. So mostly Auburn fans will come August 1st. We're going to get all their recruits. Let me explain this to you. So under the new cost share, the universities are capped in how much they can pay each sport and its players and recruitment and deal. It is of the belief by Auburn fans that Alabama is promising money to players and have expanded beyond that $20 million cap, and that a lot of these kids are going to see through that August 1st when they can't get paid and the deals have to be restructured, and they're going to jump table. They're not just saying this about Alabama. They're saying it about Ohio State. They're saying it about Oregon. They're saying it about Texas. They're saying it about Georgia. But what they're forgetting there's a couple things they're forgetting. The first one being collectives. This doesn't include collectives that aren't part of the school. This doesn't include money that's not paid directly through the school. Okay. So any deal done outside of that isn't included in that cap. That's at least my understanding. Someone tell me in the comments if I'm wrong. I could be. As well, Alabama's athletic director, Greg Byrne, came out when the news broke about the House settlement and said, we've had a plan in place for this and we are prepared for it. We've been prepared for it. We knew it was coming. We're ready. If you really think Alabama's athletic director is allowing the staff to go and offer money they don't have to pay players, instead of looking at the actual facts, what we know, Alabama has been recruiting its ass off over the last 3 months, while Hugh Freeze down the road has been playing golf. So much so that golf magazines, like I think Golf Digest, somebody, are writing articles about it. Don't be mad at Alabama. Be mad at your head coach. Be mad at your recruiting staff. Be mad that Auburn blew its wad last season on NIL deals and still couldn't beat Alabama when it came to the end. Alabama still finished with a better recruiting class. I did a video a couple of weeks ago and explained why Auburn's always going to be the little brother. And this is why. It's mostly because Alabama's brand is more recognizable and it's stronger than Auburn's. As much as you don't want it to be, as much as you hate that, it doesn't change. You can hate it as much as you want. It doesn't change that it's a fact. Alabama's brand has a historical backing that you don't have. They have the greatest head coach of all time. You don't even come close when we're talking about championships and competition long-term over the longevity of the program. You just don't compete. Your own alumni, famous alumni like Charles Barkley, understand that, and they've said it out loud. That's what's happening. It's not that Alabama's going and offering somebody money they don't have. I saw the tweet. I know what you're referencing, the On3 tweet. That tweet is about Michigan. You really think, I've said this so many times, Nick Saban is a man who knows what he's going to have for breakfast every day the rest of his life. You really don't think that he did not have a plan in place for his succession to make the brand and the program sustainable when he retired? You really don't think he and Greg Byrne have had any conversation? As college football, the landscape, NIL, transfer portal, all this stuff is evolving rapidly. You don't think that Greg Byrne's on top of it? Look at what he's done to Alabama's basketball program. Look at the hire he made. Look at how he has managed that. Look at Alabama's basketball facilities, and they're still recruiting well. The man knows what he's doing. 100%. And then you guys are all acting like Courtney Morgan's not behind the scene working. He did this at Michigan. He did this at Washington. He knows what he's doing. The problem is is you bought into the narrative that Alabama was just going to fall to the wayside when Nick Saban retired because you hate Alabama so much. You blindly bought into that emotionally, and it's not coming to fruition. The best you're going to get is a 9-4 season. So hang your hat on it. Hang your hat on it right now, because that's the worst it's probably going to get. I got news for you. Alabama's not done on the recruiting trail. They're not done. There are going to be some surprises before it is said and done. If Alabama lands Anthony Jones, Auburn's head's going to explode. But again, it's not Alabama's fault that you guys, I've been saying this, you have to approach NIL strategically. You can't just throw out a unspecified amount of dollars in one season and hope that it works. FSU did that, and look what happened. As much as you want Hugh Freeze to be Nick Saban, he's not. He's not. He beat Nick Saban in Alabama twice at Ole Miss, but other than that, he never won anything. Auburn is in a very tough place because not only do they have Alabama on one side, they've got Georgia on the other. They've got Florida to the south. They've got Tennessee to the north. Florida, as of right now, Florida and Tennessee are two programs that are in much better shape than Auburn. We know Alabama and Georgia are. So keep moving the goalpost and believing what you want to believe, but your heart's going to be broken down the road. Again, it's going to be broken in November too. It's going to hurt really bad when Alabama makes the playoff again and you're sitting at home. And you lose those wide receivers and quarterbacks and those people that you spent all of that money on. Because finally they see, hey, this isn't it. Don't be mad at us. Be mad that Hugh Freeze is out playing golf. Be mad that your athletic department did not strategically implement NIL in a way to where it could create long-term success for the program. Be mad that Auburn has fired like 18 head coaches in the last 20 years. They're paying more out to head coaches than they are to freaking into their own NIL. You still got basketball. Well, sure. You still got that. Alabama's still going to beat you on senior night at home. But you still got basketball. You can still make your Final Four runs. It's ridiculous. So for you Alabama fans watching that are upset and worried about this whole August 1st thing, I've had a couple questions about it. This is basically, I think Jay Bake said this. This is basically, or maybe an EJ. It's basically little brother upset because big brother got a brand new toy. And he's waiting to see if big brother loses said brand new toy so he can take it. Look, Alabama's not going to finish with all these guys that they have verbally committed right now. One or two of them will flip at some point in time. It's the nature of recruiting. It's the nature of these NIL deals that happened last season. But again, I do think some surprises will swing in Bama's favor before it's all said and done too. I do think so. I don't know that it's going to be any of these big name guys that are going to flip, to be honest with you. You've got 4 guys right now whose recruitments are shut down. I think more of that is probably coming in the next couple of weeks as we get into August. And I think as Alabama shows their product on the field in 2025, it'll only help. It's another thing. You don't want to look bad in recruiting, make a playoff, win your games, beat Georgia, beat Alabama. But you can't. You don't. And then you want to claim that everybody else is cheating. Couldn't be us, could it? Hey, do yourself a favor. There's a lot of recruiting news that's going to be coming up here in the next couple of weeks as we get into August. As the season starts, people start taking visits during football games, and there'll be tons of rumors and all sorts of stuff out there. So do yourself a favor and please subscribe. You can follow me on X. You can follow all the other guys, Jay, Will, Chris, Jeff, Bill. Bill will be back with us at an unspecified amount of time, but he will be back eventually. But for each subscription, we get to keep bringing videos. So do the thing. Make sure you're subbed. Hit the notification bell on YouTube. We've got a ton of head-to-head series coming up. Jeff has been working relentlessly behind the scenes to line those up. We got some exciting stuff coming up in terms of recruits, current players, coaches, interviews. Obviously, we're about to get into the season. So, yeah, thank you guys, all of you, for sticking around with us. Y'all have been fantastic. This has been a fun journey. We expect a pretty big growth spurt here in the 2025 season because I think Alabama's going to do some special things. So ride it out with us. We'll celebrate together. As always, say your prayers, read your Bibles, wash your hands, horns down, beat Auburn and LSU and Tennessee too. Roll Tide.